An obsession with their young, we now realize, is one of the things that is basic to all monkeys. The infants each have a dad to look after them, so mom goes to feed on nectar. There is something curious about monkey babies. The silverleaf monkey, for example, has orange young. It's risky with predators around. It advertises defenselessness. But to the family it says, "Help me, look after me." Adults respond by worrying more and devoting more time than if the baby wasn't so obviously vulnerable. So young monkeys can stay being babies longer. Childhood in monkeys is not primarily about a growing body, but a growing mind. A young brain searches for understanding in slow stages, hands reaching out, learning what things are and how they work. A baby monkey slowly builds its understanding of the world and of others around it. As physical growing slows down, monkeys have time to wise up. These white-faced capuchins in Central America are very clever. In fact, capuchin monkeys have a larger brain for their size than any of our closer ape cousins. One group near the coast is able to track the tides. When the water retreats, clams are exposed and easy to collect. But not so easy to open. The trick is to roll and bang the clams hard and often for a long time. The thought of what's inside is what keeps them going. It's hardly fast food. Monkeys, like us, imagine food they can't yet see, and it drives them on. After 10 minutes, the clams start to weaken and the capuchins can pull open the shells. If you're disappointed, it can only be because you've imagined more. Opening clams is just the beginning. Some troops have discovered how to get the best out of termite mounds or reach water by using their tail as a sponge. The young learn from their parents. They have what scientists call a culture, monkey culture. But the most important things for monkeys to understand are their fellow monkeys. Outsmarting each other can make the difference between life and death. Most animals are wary of outsiders and defend their territory. In monkeys, this has become a battle of wits. The capuchins move around like chess pieces, testing their defenses, trying to trap unwary scouts. Previous battles and old grudges fuel the aggression. In monkey society, everyone is an individual, and different rules can apply. Friends fight for each other. Rivals and foreigners can be killed if you can catch them. Our feelings for friends and enemies are chillingly similar. This is part of our nature, too. More capuchins are killed by other capuchins than by any predator. The invaders retreat, with nothing gained from the battle except injuries. If murder and morality have roots in our past, then so too does compassion. The fighters return and are soothed and nursed. Hands that were tiny when they explored the world and opened the mind now demonstrate a gentle understanding of others. Grooming does more than clean wounds and remove parasites. It shows respect and affection. Monkeys' attention to their health goes even further. Some monkeys have discovered a few simple medicines. The leaves of the piper plant are antiseptic and used by people here in Costa Rica as an insect repellent. When a capuchin finds a piper plant, they all become very excited, sharing, rubbing, disinfecting, and turning it into a party. Self-medication becomes a social event. We do the same. Think of tea or alcohol. A need to try everything is an extraordinary way to survive in the jungle. Here are leaves that can cure disease or repel insects, feed you or poison you. Knowledge, technology, and culture are rooted here in the forest, in the hands of monkeys. In Sri Lanka, toque macaques fish for caterpillars. The caterpillars hang from the ends of silk threads, but monkey hands can reel them in. Local knowledge and unique culture are what they live by. They know a nearby lake is guarded by a 6-foot, monkey-eating monitor lizard. Trust monkeys to find a way to reach the delicious lily flowers, safe from the monitor lizard. Only the highborn, the dominant in monkey society, are allowed to use these overhanging branches. Those at the bottom of the social scale have to take bigger risks. They take turns watching for the monitor lizard. While the guards are alert, it's pretty safe. These lower-ranking toque macaques will actually dive for lily roots and bulbs. Little of this amazing behavior is instinctive. It was discovered, learned, and passed down the generations. Keeping an eye out for your family and friends is an important part of their culture, too. Instincts in animals generally are automatic, restrictive but reliable. But learning can be forgotten, and concentration can lapse. What must a monkey guard feel when a youngster is lost on its watch? We can't know what they're thinking, but they behave in a way that we think we recognize. Another of the troop has been killed in a fight. He was the leader. It was a battle for control of the group. They are unusually silent as they gather around. The victorious new leader watches from the side, his injuries ignored. He does not interfere. Some who brought about the old leader's downfall are now tender and respectful. For many years, he had been an ally or a mate. He had been a caring father to a whole generation of young. As scientists trace human qualities and feelings further back in time, so modern monkeys seem less animal, more like rediscovered relatives. Many are very rare, like the golden lion tamarin. There's so much to discover. Why does the white wakari in the Amazon think a red face is a good sign? Or the golden snub-nosed monkey in China have blue eyeshadow? Why does the emperor tamarin have a mustache? The weirdest may be the proboscis monkey in Borneo, with a 9-inch nose and a fermenting stomach like a cow. Perhaps the most beautiful is the Duke langur of Cambodia. Howler monkeys call to declare territory. Lions roar and nightingales sing for the same reason. Howlers have a silent duet too. It's a love song, though in us it would be considered a little rude. The howlers seem to have settled something between them. Each understands the gestures and knows what the other means by them. They can flirt, argue, or agree, all things that come up in our own conversations. Of all the jungles in the world, the forests of Africa may hold the most clues to our past. It seems this may be the ancestral home of all monkeys. Our nearest relatives still live in Africa's rainforest. Our intelligence, such as it is, began here and evolved here. Our hands that can do so much were originally for holding on to these branches. Much of what we are began in these trees. Black and white colobus make it all appear quite relaxed. Babies are, of course, special. In this case, white. In the forests of East Africa, black and white colobus eat toxic leaves. Each day, one colobus eats enough cyanide to kill you or me. They have a strong stomach and special bacteria, but they don't seem to like the diet. A close cousin of theirs, the red colobus, has solved its indigestion, bizarrely with our help. Red colobus eat just as much toxin, but one group has found a remarkable antidote in the forests of Zanzibar. They go to the local village and eat charcoal from village fires. The carbon absorbs the toxins. Monkeys have the curiosity to try new things and the wisdom to recognize useful discoveries. The trick must be relatively recent, since the arrival of man. Freed from the perpetual battle with food that might kill them, they have more time to play and learn. A chance discovery has revolutionized their lives. The black and white colobus may learn the trick one day, But in the meantime, they live with their pain. The good fortune of red colobus extends to a generous nature. A guenon joins the troop to be groomed. Other little guenons line up. This friendship has helped scientists to understand one of our greatest abilities: language. The jungle, to us, may seem a cacophony of meaningless sounds. Each animal listens to its own calls and usually tunes out the rest. But some monkeys are multilingual. Guenons live here, and there are several species of them. Each has its own calls for communicating with other members of its troop. These Diana monkeys have joined an army of other guenons, a United Nations of monkeys, and that requires them to understand each other. On the forest floor live sooty mangabees. They specialize in gathering fallen nuts. Above are red colobus, spot-nosed and putty-nosed guenons, black and white colobus, Campbell's guenon, and the Diana monkey, which live mainly in the upper canopy. The monkeys all behave as though they were one troop, moving through the forest together, resting together, and all looking out for predators. On the forest floor, the sooty mangabey can rely on the eyes and ears above and relax, thanks to the alliance. If a red colobus spots something like a snake, it gives the red colobus alarm call for snake. A spot-nosed guenon reacts immediately. If a Diana monkey sees an eagle, the alarm goes out, eagle, and all the monkeys look up. Each species has a different alarm call, but they all understand each other. With 8 different monkeys and about 15 calls each, that's 120 different sounds. The mangabeys see a leopard. All the other monkeys call leopard in their own way, but there are other calls in there too. If Diana monkeys hear a string of calls by a Campbell's guenon, say, they behave as if they were hearing a sentence. Their ability to understand other species gives scientists a running translation. Some calls add detail, maybe or not urgent. If the sounds are in a different order, it means something else. Grammar, the basis of true language, was once thought of as uniquely human. Even chimps have not yet been shown to have this ability in the wild, but monkeys have achieved it. Diana monkeys also have a voice box more like ours, so alarm calls may be only a small part of their vocabulary. If talking is an ancient monkey ability, we should find something similar in other monkeys around the world. In forests from Africa to South America, scientists have found monkeys whose calls refer to predators. But do they ever use sounds for things when they can't see them, when they are just thinking about them? The white-faced capuchins in Costa Rica live by... There's more to learn in larger and more volatile societies. All monkeys can be murderous, but baboons seem closer to violence, as though anger and frustration were always just under the surface. The lower-ranking males find their failed ambition very stressful and become neurotic with high blood pressure and ulcers. High-ranking males are dictatorial bullies while their power lasts, but when deposed become ill and have symptoms of depression. Baboon society shares many of our problems. We are psychologically similar. Of course, there are huge differences, but if you want to imagine your early ancestor on a hunt, think baboon. A clever political mind is essential in large groups, so the cleverest monkeys should be found in the biggest troops, equivalent to our towns or cities. In the Simeon Mountains of Ethiopia live huge herds of geladas. In Fast Forward, they move like an army. Small groups of mothers and their young, harems, gather together to form troops of up to 800 monkeys. Gelada's hands are usually busy plucking grass instead of grooming, so to keep in touch, geladas have become the chattiest of all monkeys. The gossipy banter can sound to scientists like sentences with words. Most agree it is often used to diffuse tension. And for geladas, there's a lot to be tense about. There are gangs of young bachelors looking to steal females. Each handful of females is guarded by a single male, the harem master. The bachelors try to tempt young females away, hoping the resident father figure doesn't notice. The males flash teeth at each other. They may fight, but it's usually just showing off, in case the girls are watching. There's a lot of flirting on both sides. And then, if an innocent-looking female is tempted to wander off past her guardian, he has to decide what to do. Females mostly sneak off secretly for affairs. This is a blatant challenge to his authority. The illicit couple just sits. The suitor seems to be using his hand to hide his grimace. He probably doesn't want trouble. Chimps, baboons, and macaques may also try to look innocent when they break the rules. This is a complicated social problem. Using your brain to control societies is called Machiavellian intelligence and is essential in manipulating political power. Instead of launching an attack, the politician here tries to grab a baby. Monkey etiquette dictates nobody attacks anyone holding a baby. The mothers are worried and quickly scoop up the youngest. Here, the two males face each other. The family man backs toward one of his more loyal wives, calling for support. One of the youngsters suddenly switches from mother to father. This should calm things down. With the youngster attached, the father's protected and the harem should unite. But it can go wrong. The youngster is slipping off. The family is frantic. The harem master has no protection from attack. The bachelor is finally driven off, with a little help from the mothers. But fathers are meant to guard the precious young. He knows he's in all sorts of trouble. If the infant dies, the mothers may not support him again. Our brain, too, wrestles with our own similar problems. We are as social and as competitive. Intelligence sweeps in through monkey evolution to apes and us and leaves a chilling legacy. Becoming clever can mean being controlling, stressed, perhaps unhappy. The females are plotting, worrying for their young. He worries about other males stealing his wives. All of them are thinking about whom they can trust. Is this the pinnacle of monkey brainpower? Monkeys also set us on a path toward cooperation, planning, tool-making, and technology. The cleverest monkey perhaps took that path too.